Hey, how's it going, people? Hope you're all well out there and all that jazz. Back with another bike video. So, what's been going on? I keep meaning to bring my camera down to do some recording, and I forget it. Like the last 3 times I've been down here, I keep forgetting to do it. So, but again, I think I said last time as well, it's a bit hard to do a video when you don't feel like everything's going the way it should be. Every time I try and fire this bike up, it doesn't want to work. It's like it's not working. Anyway, so I'll give you a little quick recap on what's happening. Here we are, the bike is in lots of bits again. Quick story, carburetors off the slabby. It's a bit dark in here, sorry. Carburetors off the slabby, flat slide carbs, absolutely knackered. Left them out in the rain on the bike for too long, and now they're just screwed, basically. Stripped them, cleaned them, done all that, completely stripped them off the cage, separate the bodies. You can split the bodies in half, you can get to everything on that, and there's, you know, things that are wrong with them. Yes, lovely. Fundamentally they work, they just don't work very well. These are the original carbs from the Mark II Bandit. Now the guy who sold me the Bandit wants these back, so there's no point messing around with them. Yes, the bike ran on it nicely with an airbox. Yeah, ran on it nicely with the airbox. I don't have an airbox on my bike. I've never had one since I've owned it. It's always been on pod filters. And it's always been a bit of an issue for me, you know. Actually, if I could put an original airbox back in it for reasonable money, I would do, because it's just easier that way. Bikes run smoother. You're never going to bloody burn off high boosters or anything like that with an old bike, no matter what you put in it. So airbox and smooth running, that'd be nice, but no. So I've got a set of Mark I carbs, which I got with the bike, and he wants his Mark II carbs back. So we're working with the Mark I carbs. And today I've got my new filters. Ram airs. I like these filters because they're pretty good. Ram air filters. I've had loads of filters in the past. Here's a set of K&Ns. Squished up because there isn't a whole lot of room in the bike to fit the filter on the back of the carburetor, so you end up having to squish them all up, as I'm sure many people with a slabby might know. So I opted to go for a softy spongy, because, you know, you can just squeeze them into the frame. These ram airs are pretty nice. The most important thing about buying these pod filters is, when I worked in a bike shop, you would constantly see, put that there a minute, a lot of these things coming in, you know, cheap generic eBay crappers. First of all, you can see through them, so I don't know what they're supposed to be filtering. Second of all, I don't know if you can see that there, but there's a ridge on the inside. Now what that does is it screws up your carbon, whether anybody knows it. If you don't know it, then you're going to know it now. So what you get, and it just so happens I've got a set of the carbs hanging out the side of the bike, is you've got your vacuum lifts here for your diaphragms, and on a lot of other carbs, let's take the flatties for instance, although it doesn't matter too much on the flatties, but it does. Right around the rim of the carburetor there, you've got all your airways for your fuel drawers and all that sort of stuff. And the shoulder of these crap cheap filters that don't filter anything, because you can pretty much see through them, filters. Yeah, you can see through it. they obscure all the holes on the mouth of the carburetor, so you're not getting the airflow into the carb vessel ways, I don't know, what do you want to call them? Air lift off, take offs, I don't know. So on these filters here, there's no ridge, so it's straight in, almost like a ram pipe, straight through, doesn't obscure the holes. And can you see through it with the light behind? No, it's a filter, it filters stuff, good to go. Little bit more pricey, but worth every penny. I've only got these here because crap bikes I've bought in the past have come with them on, and yeah, we don't want that, thank you very much. Now then, I had trouble with the carbs. I also had trouble with, oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I had trouble with the carbs, but I put the motor in the bike, and again, I just want to get this bloody thing fired up so that I can use it. I just want to ride the damn thing. Just want to ride it. Once I can ride it up the road and it feels a bit better, then I'll be happy and I'll faff around with the cosmetics a little bit afterwards. But for now, I just need it to run and then I'll feel happy. So we've got the motor in there. Took a little bit longer than I anticipated. Yes, I haven't cleaned it up. I used the radiator, or the oil cooler off of the Bandit, and bugger me if I didn't fire it up and it started leaking out of the joint on the bottom. So this is jointed off the top because it's a Gsxr one. So then I had to drop the oil again, change the radiator, change the oil cooler, oil it all up again, blah blah blah, fired it up. Ordered a set of jets for these. Now running an open filter or pod filter or whatever you want to call it, immediately you're just going to have to up your fuel jets. So I bought a range of jets off of a fella, and I was bowled over because I bought 3 lots of jets. There's the old set. They were the 127.5s that were in my flatty carbs. Put them there a minute, lose them down the plug hole. What else have we got here? I bought, yeah, they're the 127.5s, but they're in the 150 packet just to make things simple, because I put the 150 jets in those carbs. So we're going off with the baseline 150 main jet just to, you know, see what happens. But I did buy a size either way. I know that I might have to buy a smaller one anyway, or a bigger one anyway, so I got 145, and a 157.5, because he didn't have any more 160s. Regardless of that, he sent me a free packet of these little jet cleaner watching me doodahs. A little fuel airway cleaner thingamabobs. That is the technical term for these, by the way, so don't get it wrong. Yeah, chuck them in for nothing. I sent him a big thanks and he said, my pleasure, enjoy, and I will. Because that's the kind of guy I am. Anyway, so last night I've been coming here and I've been doing just like an hour or 2 hours each in the evening, like pick a task. Let's achieve that for the night, because I'm like right on the edge of just going and throwing everything all over the place, and you know, just being calm about it. So I'm just like, pick a job, do it, get it done, tick it off the list, go home, come back tomorrow. Here we are again. So last night I was hoping to have fired it up in the door with a set of 150 jets in there, with the hope of not tuning it up, but you know, just getting some normal running symptoms. And it started running a bit funny, so I tried to adjust my mixtures. Oh, look at that throttle cable, new one of those needed. For all of those people at home are like, oh, did you see his throttle cable? Oh, did you see that? It had dirt on it. Don't care, not right now. And yeah, come to discover the mixture screw on number 1 was completely mullered in there. Just going to put the camera right up on that, so see if I can get a zoom in on it or a... So it was mullered, and it took me about an hour and a half to try and get it loose, till in the end I just threw a paddy, got the grinder out, just took the top right off it. That's what it should look like. It's got a standoff on there, look. Just took the top right off it, flattened it off, grinded a groove in it, got a blowtorch on it, heated it up, and then eventually I got it to move. So now that's been removed, cleaned out, got a little bit of moly-coat grease on there, and away we go. So these carburetors, these carburetors are good. I don't care what anybody says, they're good. Fuel filter on there, because I've been using my one of my motocross tanks, Gsxr baby. It looks so good on the bike, I'm actually going to keep it. Seriously. Let's put it on there. Look at that. That's awesome, man. I like it. Seriously. Anyway, it's got a bit of shit in it. Fuel filter. I've got some fresh fuel today. The carbs are good. There's a jet in there. I've got my filters, which are up there in the box. I dug it off the shelf. I haven't used it for donkey's years, and I would only usually use it on a 2-stroke. An old colour tune set. Whether I can get it to screw into my plug hole, probably not. Does it work? Probably not. If it does work, it's just going to give me a quick baseline to work with anyway, until I can take it up the road. Because this bike is actually still MOT taxed and insured from April last year, which is when I got it out and about before, and then just wasn't happy with the way it was running, and then it kind of deteriorated from then on. And what's the date now? We're into February the following year, and I'm still faffing around with it. What can you do? Just got to keep faffing around with it. I'm going to put these carbs all back together, get the air filters on there, get it the way it should be. I'm going to wheel it to the door over there, and then we'll fire it up. I'll leave this do a bit of a time lapse, and then when I get it in the doorway, I'll record that as well. Catch you in a bit. So who was paying attention to what just happened there? Because it wasn't me. I forgot to put the little tie rail on the cabs that I took off so that I could get access to them with the grinder. But hey ho, do everything 3 times. Do everything 3 times. It seems to be a running theme with this bike at the minute. Everything I do, I've got to do it like 3 times. That's why it's just going so slow. But hey, anyway. Yeah, a couple of other embarrassing things that I didn't... well, I'm not embarrassed by them, because actually these days I don't really care. I don't get embarrassed like that so much anymore. But I was faffing around with the wiring, and obviously many of you will know that usually a plug, if it connects to another plug, is a black to black or a white to a white, or it just doesn't fit. But on that Bandit wiring loom, which I'm using, there is a speedo sensor off the front sprocket, and it's a black plug. But the pickup coil sender wire is the same plug, and it fits, but it's white. And for some reason I just went, oh yeah, I'll connect that together, and I didn't have a spark for ages, and it took me, I was like, what, how can I not have a spark? And it took forever to figure it out. I'm not going to tell you how I figured it out, but let's say we figured it out. So let's have the fuel on here a minute, make sure they're not bloody overflowing, because I did have the carb bowls off. Fresh fuel in the tank, everything's reconnected, carbs are on, filters are on. They could do with being done a bit better, but I'll do that another time. They're okay for a minute. Batteries propped there. Take that off, let's take that off. They're alright, don't seem to be leaking. This filter stopped flowing anyway. That's another good thing about having a filter on there while you're faffing around. You can see whether there's any fuel flow. Okay, let's turn that off for a minute. Turn it off. Well, we're going to go over to the door, but it's a bit dark over there, and I'm not climbing up there to get the light down just to see what's going on, unfortunately. Let's clip you on there, turn you around. You can check out my reversing skills. My old boss used to hate me pushing the bike like this. Here we go. Now, where's the best place for the camera? Piece of wood there. Can you even see anything? Is it too dark? Oh, okay. Well, it's more of a sound test than anything else. Prop the door open. Turn the fan on. Let's give it a whirl. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, well, it's ticking over. That's a bonus. Let's go over here in the light a minute. It's ticking over. I can tell it's on all four. It never used to even be on all four with them old carbs and that. It seems to like the choke. When it's off the choke, it picks up on the pilots and then dies off that mid throttle. So it likes the choke. So it suggests to me it wants a bit more fuel. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to lift those needles a bit and see what it's like. I'll pull it in and I'll have a faff around with that colour tune actually. And see if I can't get that in there. It might just give me a rough idea what it's doing. So I'm going to do that for a minute. I'll switch the camera off while I faff around doing that, and then if we have a bit of success, then we'll come back to it. Right, we're getting there slowly. Yes, we're getting there slowly. So I did raise the needles there. I found that they were already on the notch, the one down from the top. So the needle was nearly at its highest. Sorry. Bit of slayer there. Yeah, so the needle was one notch from the bottom, so it was nearly all the way up anyway. But it's picking up through. When I was sort of blipping it before, it would get to about 3 grand and then bog down. Now I can actually tickle it up through, so it's getting closer. I might, it probably needs a ride out now. Getting it to try and rev up on the spot is all good and well, but it's no good when it's not under power. So like pulling through, and then I'll be able to feel where it is bad in the mid-range. In the top end might be flat as a pancake at the top, so I'll, I might have to downsize on the jet or upsize. And then once I find that hard pull in top end or open throttle, I can work back with the needle from there. So yeah, that'll do, because it's getting late. I am on an industrial estate, but there are houses sort of kind of nearby, so I can't just sit there revving it up. I'll get the old rozzers around. So with that said, I'm going to shut the door down, pull the bike in, and that's it for that one. Hopefully I'll have something a bit sooner. Hopefully I'll have something a bit sooner to watch. Maybe even taking it out for a bit of a test run. Who knows? But if you haven't done it already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell button, share it, do whatever you want, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.